good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Hey, it's Duke Mo here. Usually I don't get in front of the camera, but we just felt like as far as soldiers dealing with soldiers, I had to, man. It's a rare occasion where we got an American hero in the building with us. And yeah, so why don't you go and tell us a little bit about yourself, man? Tell us who you are and just tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? My name Dorrell Smith. Everybody call me Twin. I'm from Columbus, Mississippi. I did 22 years in the Army, but throughout my 22 years in the Army, I consistently did music. I started off doing music in junior high school, kind of fell off of it. But when I joined the Army, a lot of cats that was in the barracks, they was doing music. So that love just came back. And so I constantly, just kept on doing music while I was in the military. So it's one of those things that music is my passion. If I could, I would do it for free. But, it's a long story, but I'll tell y'all about that one day. But, yeah, I had music, like I said, 22 years. Everywhere I went, I was always into music. The thing is, I started off making beats. One of my partners, his name Eddie Bankhead, we called him Gangster. He gave me my first drum machine, and it was a ASR 16. Then I went from that, bought a keyboard. From a keyboard, I've one of my partners said, "Hey man, you gotta get an MPC," and that was Gangster. So I saved up my little pennies, a little specialist in the barracks, saved up that old money and got me old MPC, and I've been working it ever since. So, I just constantly been building, learning a lot of stuff on my own, because the opportunities that a lot of folks got today, we didn't have, especially the duty stations I was at: Fort Hood, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Korea, back to Fort Hood. So the music scene wasn't that good. My cousin Chevy, he had the opportunity to get stationed here in Georgia. So he was coming up here to Atlanta all the time. So I had end up, when I retired at Fort Hood. He retired at Fort Benning. So he moved up here to Georgia. The whole time I was like, hey, I want to do music, but the music scene in Texas, you go to South by Southwest, ran into a lot of dope artists at South by Southwest. But after South by Southwest, it went back to the live band and live performance. That's what's Austin good for. The hip hop scene, R&B scene, gospel scene is really not there in Austin. So you had to go up to the Dallas area, the Houston area. You go to Houston, you got to check in with Jay Prince. you ain't
we ain't on that level yet. But, I got a question for you though, Twin. So as far as, how you gave us a backstory on kind of, how you got started. Was music a family thing, man, as far as starting off? It was in you, and then you went into the part about, your friend giving you the name and equipment and everything?
Now, my sister is the oldest. May she rest in peace. She started off in a band first. Then my father, he was in a band in Chicago. He was the drummer. But you learn some of this stuff when you're older. He told me this about a couple of years ago. But my sister, she was in the band. Me and my brother was in the band. She got band scholarships. She played the drums. So when I started making beats, I always send it to her. She will always critique my beats for me. But I didn't stay in band like my sister. My sister, from junior high all the way to high school and in college. So she got band scholarships. So she was more my inspiration. She the one that kept pushing me and said, hey, you can do this. And she'd tell me, hey, you're off on that, you're off on your timing on this and stuff like that. And so my sister taught my son how to play the drums. So my son, when he was in the band, he ended up playing the drums in the band. So I know if she was alive, she would have been proud of him, because everything he know, she taught him. So that's how, I can say it's a family thing, but it was like one of those family things that I kind of ran away for a minute, but what kept me and really kept me out of trouble in the Army was
music. Yeah. All right, well, hey, music important, and your sister important. And, you know, one of our questions is, I'm going to go ahead and get to that one now, is, you know, how important is family to you? And I can understand from you talking about your sister, man, that it is extremely important. But, you know, in your own words, how important is family to you?
Family is very important. You know, I also got an identical twin brother. You know, that's my ride or die. Yeah, you know, if he was here, we will always be together. You know, where he's married. I was married once upon a time, but I go to Texas. He is already there for me. He'll have his daughter pick me up from the airport, or he'll pick me up from the airport. But yeah, family is a must. I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for family. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mom or pops. I wouldn't have the inspiration that I have if it wasn't from my sister and my brother. And I wouldn't keep driving or had a drive I had if it wasn't for my son and my daughter.
Okay. Well, that's great, man. Thank you for that. Now, so as far as the family and everything, I understand all that now. Let's talk to us a little bit about, you know, Grindin Entertainment. Am I saying that right? Or yeah, Grindin Entertainment, and just how that got started and what it's all about and what you bring to the table with that.
So with Grindin Entertainment, so I told y'all about my partner, Eddie Bankhead. We called him Gangster. Mm-hmm. So I known Gangster since we was kids.
I know it's another story, but that's an earned nickname, or that's just one of them, you know. No, but okay, you keep going, John. All right, I'm good.
So, man, he rest in peace. So it was I came home on leave one day. I went over his house, and this honestly how it went down. I went over his house, and his pool table. I came over to play pool, and he got all his music equipment on his pool table. I said, man, why you got all this junk on here? Then he was like, man, I'm finna start a record label. And then I said, okay. And then, but what he ended up, you know, I just said, this is a drum machine. So I started playing with the drum machine. And he said, man, how you make that thing do what it do? I said, man, it's easy. So I kept playing with it. Then he said, man, go on, take that home with you. Go on, take that back to Texas with you. And so I took it back to Texas, and I had I started playing with it. Then I said I needed some keys, so I ended up buying a keyboard. I bought a Korg N5. I still have this keyboard, and that was 1996.
Wow,
still got that keyboard. So after that, I just started making beats. So it was me, this cat. He was from South Carolina. He stayed down the hallway from me. He had an MPC. He had a Korg, Triton. He had all kind of stuff. He had rack on sound modules in his room. So I used to go around to his room, and basically we were just sitting there making beats and seeing who could make the best beats. And then eventually I end up moved out the barracks. I made my little E5 and
show big time, man. NCO.
So after that, it was more. I was doing more work as an NCO, but then my stress reliever, I come home and beat up that old drum machine. Then one day, you know, like how with anything you outgrow. I outgrew that on ASR that 16 ASR 16. At least it's ASR 16, and I saved up them pennies and man went and got that MPC, and that MPC was a game changer because you could sample with it, and you could do a whole lot with it. Then I ended up getting stationed at Fort Knox. I was a B-Knock instructor, so then I ran into Robert T. Money.
Okay.
So Robert T. Money, Chevy was stationed at Knox. So 3 Mississippi boys together doing music. Mm-hmm. So that's how
that doing, right? Yeah.
Hey, you finish on that platform, you need a stress reliever. So we start, you know, they rapping, and I said, oh man, how we gonna get these beats and these vocals together? So then I started doing my research on how to record. So then as I started doing my research on how to record, then that's what made me start buying recording equipment. So I was still making beats, but then it seemed like I kind of got into the recording process, you know, how to record, mix, master, and we started putting little CDs out, little mixtapes. Then, you know, in Kentucky, it's Derby time. Yeah. So if you never been,
shout out to Louisville.
If you ain't never been to the Derby back in the days, you missed it. Hey, it was going down. You know, they block off Broadway, and you got your little backpack with your CDs, and you're handing out CDs. So, you know, it was a whole lot of networking. Because the first time I went to Derby, that's when I met Gucci. Gucci had a little caravan wrap with his name on it. They were riding down the street throwing out CDs. Gucci Mane.
Oh, like Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci here in Atlanta.
Yeah, okay. Right.
So the Derby, you're gonna run into a lot of celebrities. Back in the day, that's when Gucci was just doing his hustle. Cause that was like 2000. 2001. So you see a lot of folks come through Louisville. Louisville is kind of slept on, but it's a lot of talent come out of Louisville. I got my partner, he a super duper producer, John Woo. Okay. He's from Louisville. He stay up there. You know, he's managing artists now, but you know, he introduced me to a lot of folks in Louisville. I've been to a lot of the studios up in Louisville because me and John, he started off making beats, and so me and him just connected. I was introduced to him from another cat, but at the end of the day, me and Wu we've been cool ever since like 2000, 2001. Okay.
Yeah, I seen, you know, I follow him too. Shout out to him. I watch one of his interviews. Dreams is a seized to reality. You know, I know, you know, that's one of his, you know, I check out some of his interviews. But so with Grindin, with all that, and you already kind of mentioned the family. You also already mentioned your influences. You even mentioned Gucci. But as far as being here in Atlanta, I don't think we mentioned that, but we are in Atlanta right now. Who are some people that you haven't worked with that you would like to work with? Or if you work with somebody who, you know, you just kind of like, you truly enjoy, other than, I know there's some close personal ones.
You know, since I'm from Mississippi,
for sure.
You know, I definitely want to work with David Banner and Big Crit.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to both of them.
You know, I've been listening to Banner since he came out, and then, you know, when I caught Big Crit on the underground scene, and I'm like, okay, this little cat sound like he from Texas. But then when I kept on, I said, wait a minute, he said Meridian, Mississippi. And so, you know, my hometown is like 45 minutes from Meridian. So then I'm like, okay, so I started digging in, and I'm like, okay, Big Crit got some dope music. I like his message. Yeah, I like his delivery. And the same thing with Banner. I like how Banner, he uses his music to uplift and bring insight to our people. Yeah. You know, I would say he's the new Black Messiah that's trying to educate us on some of the things that we turn a blind eye to. But yeah, I would love to work with David Banner and Big Crit.
All right, shout out to Mississippi. Shout out to both of them. Big Crit, David Banner. You know, appreciate everything y'all doing for the culture. And David Banner, man, is kind of unmatched. But so what's with that, man? You know, that's kind of a good side. What's some of the tougher sides of the business, or this business, as far as you're concerned?
With the business, it's a lot of trust. It's a lot of folks that prey on the people that don't have the knowledge or understand the knowledge of the music industry. So you have to be aware of that. You know, I would tell any artist that's getting into the music industry, understand that business. You know your talent. You know that you can sing. You know you can rap. You know you can make beats. But if you don't understand that paperwork, you don't understand when you have to sit down in front of these execs that you are more valuable to them than you really think you are. So learn to understand the business aspect. I would tell any artist, if you ain't got no lawyer up, because that lawyer will help you get through the snakes that you're gonna see that be smiling in your face in this industry.
Wow. Okay. So lawyer up. I guess, you know, that's something we need to, bro. We're gonna take that advice. You know, we get Oh, I was looking over there for the book. But all right, so as far as you, if you was not doing this, I'm gonna get to the military question in a minute, but if you was not doing this, what would you be doing?
And you know, I asked myself that. I really did. I said, if I wasn't doing music, what would I do? Because I know I can't work for nobody else.
Yeah.
Them 22 years in the army. No way, Jose. I can't do it. Honestly, you know, if I wasn't doing music, I'd probably be traveling around the world.
Wow. Wow.
Because you have to live your life to the fullest. After you done worked hard and you see and the things that pay off, I just like, hey, I go travel.
Man, so, you know, we was talking earlier, you've been around the world a time or two, man. You know, some places we may not, you know, want to mention. But with that, if you could go somewhere other than the place you've been, what's some places that two places you would most like to visit?
Well, yeah, that's another hard question because I did a contract job after I had got out the military.
Where's that at?
I did a contract. I lived in Saudi Arabia for 2 years.
Wow.
I was over there training the Saudi Arabian army on tactics, shoot, move, and communicate. So I get off work. It was a 9 to 5. So I was in the Middle East. So I've been to Dubai, Qatar, Germany. Germany was all right, but Dubai was beautiful. I would tell you, Dubai is beautiful. If you ever think about going to Dubai, you know, take that special one with you, and y'all go enjoy it. Other place I ain't gonna tell y'all.
We get Dubai a lot, man, on this show. We get that a lot, but you know, we kind of alluded to a little bit, man. But I'm gonna get to one of the biggest questions I want is, you know, the military. Tell us about your time in the military, you know, your job, and then just the overall military lifestyle for you, the 22 years, man.
Okay, I was a 19 kilo. That's a tank crewman. You know, I spent 17 out of the 22 years at Fort Hood, Texas. So every rank I made in the Army was at Fort Hood. I went from a E1 to a E7 at Fort Hood, Texas. So everything else in between was just, you know, hey, I'm 3 years I was out of there. As a tanker, you know, the positions I held, you know, from a staff sergeant, I was tank commander, then left Fort Hood, went to Fort Knox. I was a BNOC instructor. As a BNOC instructor, you know, basically I taught tankers how to be tank commanders. Then I went from there to Korea, did my little tank, some more tank commander time, and I was in first tank, you know, who you with.
Up here fighting in the club.
Second ID. If it's some soldiers out here watching this, you know, y'all was at Mustang. Yeah, I was at Casey. Y'all was in Mustang. So I left there. I left Korea May 87. I got pinned on at Fort Hood. Platoon sergeant, took a platoon to Iraq, came back. You know, I lost a couple of soldiers. I also got injured, but you know, I tell anybody, God brought me home.
For sure.
Because I seen a lot and been through a lot, and you know, everybody say, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm good. I'm alive," and they really don't understand that, because if you was there on that scene, I shouldn't have been alive, but God, I'm still walking and talking, so I'm good. So after that, left Hood, went back to Fort Knox, ACRC, traveled around the United States, trained in the National Guard. One of the worst.
Hey, that's what my man Deloach at on another story, but you know, he was down at down Mississippi, Camp Shelby, doing some of that ACRC stuff.
I was at Knox. They had me in Wisconsin, down here, Georgia.
I'm making up names.
No, I went to Atterbury.
Okay,
Atterbury. Indiana. Yeah, they had us some everywhere, and I was like, they got folks here. Why they got us coming up there training? It was that the only thing about it that I really, and plus me coming straight off of deployment, going to that unit, it wasn't good, because a lot of the guys that was in the unit never deployed. We call them slick sleeves. Yeah. Then Chevy showed up. I like, okay.
How y'all pull that off?
Man, I was glad he showed up because it was, when I say it was rough, it was rough. Mm-hmm. But then me and him did a lot of shows in Kentucky, little talent shows, little network events for artists. We did a lot of good stuff there. But I ain't gonna pretend Fort Knox was not for me.
Hey, so with Knox, and that was my last duty station, but this ain't about me though. So being out in the Midwest, being from Mississippi, well, Knox, I guess it's still kind of south. But was you a part of the whole state to state mixtape thing with Chevy?
So Chevy was doing state to state mixtape. The only thing I did, I provided a song for his state to state mixtape compilation album.
Okay.
So I was doing the Grindin Entertainment, and he was doing a state to state mixtape. We was having here, if somebody need to record here, send them my way. And then some of the artists that I work with, some of them end up getting on some of his state to state mixtape. Me and him did We in the Money mixtape. We did a little release, little mixtape release party. Had a couple of artists come perform and stuff, but he had a real dope state to state mixtape release. I went out to that. I was out there for a couple of minutes, then I had to leave. But Chevy been working hard.
Yeah, for sure. You can see that.
So
shout out to him. Shout out to the mentor, man. He out, definitely low key. He kind of like you, man. Dude, y'all don't like the spotlight. So this interview, man, my man Dub in the building too. Chris, we in the studio, but it's just amazing that he agreed to do this, man. Because these cats don't want no kind of, they don't want no shine on them, man. Really, they're just doing it. I don't know. I know y'all do it for the love, but when I tell you these men do a lot for people without wanting any credit, man, it's one thing to talk it, bro. But shout out to you and Chevy for that. We really do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I like to be behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
I don't need y'all seeing it.
Hey man, look, this is be y'all, man. We might have an exclusive up here. I wish y'all could see this setup, man. But I do got a couple more questions because we do comedy and entertainment at our HYLO Art. We do rap, sing, but we started with comedy skits. So we always ask people, what's your favorite comedy TV show and comedy movie of all time? Both of those. You can give us a couple if you want. But.
So comedy show, I'm old. I ain't gonna say I'm old. Don't let that gray hair fool you. But I love the Jamie Foxx show.
Oh, you ain't that mid-90s Jamie Foxx.
The Jamie Foxx show, it keep you rolling.
Jamie don't get enough love, man. He slide in every once in a while. Usually we get Martin. Martin is the generation that we get from the kids, the reruns. But Jamie probably second or third. We get that a lot. Maybe the Fresh Prince, but Jamie, I wasn't surprised by that. But yeah, but Jamie Foxx is the real deal, bro, when it comes to that. Yeah. And then what about a movie then?
The movie, I'm gonna go with that old Friday After Next.
hey. Well, okay, Friday After Next. We get Friday a lot, but we get the Fridays. So yeah. Ice Cube is, that. And when I say we, HYLO Art, but we interview people anywhere between 18 and 60, and Friday gonna come up a lot. Friday, the movie Friday itself comes up a lot, man. Friday After Next. So all the Fridays,
Yeah, I especially one where what's his name, Ricky Smiley was in.
Oh yeah,
that's the one right there.
Yeah.
I like Friday. Then
Friday
when he was in Rancho Cucamonga,
yeah.
But that Christmas one had me rolling.
He did the whole Dion thing. Yeah, you can't get hit by Pinky in them.
Yeah, that was the best one.
All right, so yeah, you kind of par for the course, man, with some of the stuff. But being in the musician, we always ask the music playlist, but I'm gonna steal a little bit from Empress K on this one. What's a day? Empress K is our main host. But if you had a day playlist and a night playlist, what would be a couple songs on each one of them?
See, with my playlist, my day and night playlist kind of is the same. So me doing music, a lot of folks gonna say, okay, this cat gonna probably listen to a whole lot of rap and stuff like that. So it's this one artist I listen to. He's really a musician, and he always have artists come sing for him. So you have this. He did a song with Cassette Michelle. What the name?
Chrisette Michelle.
Yeah,
I think
so.
Yeah.
It's called Cherish the Day.
Okay.
It's real jazzy. They redid Sade song. So it's real jazzy. So I listen to that. I kind of listen to a lot of jazz. Folks probably don't want to believe that because it keep me mellow. It keep me, not from acting a fool. So I gotta listen to something real mellow. But if we're gonna talk about hip hop, I still listen to a lot of old music. I listen to the Outkast. I listen to a lot of Dr. Dre, The Chronic, Biggie old album. But if I'm listening to up to date music, I'm gonna listen to Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Logic. A lot of folks slept on Logic. They want to say, "Oh, Logic is this." I said, the little youngster, he got some dope music. But you're gonna hear me listen to some old Pimp C too. I'm be straight up. I'm a straight
that's
UGK.
almost by law. Yeah.
I'm a UGK fan, and I can tell you the first time it was 1992. I went to Hines Community College down in Utica, Mississippi, and I was down there. One of my roommates, I'm like, man, what you listen to? He said, oh man, this UGK, and it was that old pocket full of stones.
So, it's almost an unwritten rule that y'all have to listen to certain people down there, right? Or is it just, because I know, they from Texas, but my whole thing with the Underground Kings and that whole area down there, tell us a little bit more about the UGK, how you got it as far as your playlist, and how is that still on your playlist, man? Or is it just? So,
a lot of y'all ain't gonna remember this. So in Mississippi, in Columbus, because Columbus, Mississippi is like 2 hours south of Memphis. So back in the days, 666 Mafia used to come to Columbus. So you had Player Fly, Skinny Pimp, all them used to come to Columbus and perform. So a lot of us used to listen to a lot of Memphis rappers. You had DJ Squeaky and all of them. But when I went to Hines, and Hines is down there, it's past Jackson's. It's closer to Natchez, Mississippi.
Okay.
So since we're closer to Louisiana, that area, and when I was at Hines, we used to go up to Jackson and go to the clubs. So like I said, my roommate, he had a UGK cassette, and like I said, first song I heard was A Pocket Full of Stones and Use Me Up. So we go to Jackson. It's this club called Volcano. Back in the days, it was this cat named, and Pimp C talk about him in one of his songs, Donna Ray. Donna Ray was a drug dealer, so Pimp C and Donna Ray, they used to go to Donna Ray Club and perform. Scarface and them used to come and perform. So when I was in college for that one semester,
shout out to Hines.
So we in Jackson and we going to the club, and Scarface and them in there performing, Bushwick Bill and them in there performing.
This in the 90s?
Yeah, this is 92.
Oh man, they already large this
was 1992. Then when I joined the Army, I get to Texas. Before I graduated from high school, me and my brother said, man, I'm leaving Mississippi. I said, I'm heading to Texas. So when, you in basic training, that old wish list, I put Texas. Oh man, yeah, I want to go to Texas. Then I put the crazy stuff, Hawaii stuff. I knew I couldn't go. So
as a tanker,
when I got the hood, it was good.
Yeah. Hey.
So when I got to Texas, listen to UGK. Then, I was listening to MJG and 8Ball and all that stuff. I was listening to a lot of, don't get me wrong, I grew up listening to Tribe Called Quest, Run DMC and stuff. Tribe Called Quest is one of my groups. If you ever come here to visit Grindin Entertainment, you're gonna see these Tribe Called Quest posters and all.
Yeah. The art in this place is amazing too, man.
So that's how I got into, UGK. So, I didn't let the South define what music I listened to, because I listened to East Coast, West Coast. I wasn't that person to say, I'm from the South, I'm just listening to South. That means you're a closed-minded person. That's my opinion on that, because a lot of things is you can learn from anybody, anywhere. And I think a lot of a lot of cats from my hometown put themselves in that box, and I wasn't gonna put myself in a box. I was gonna go out there and try to experience everything I can, and that's how you learn and grow from.
Okay. And man, I could just tell from being in here, you know, in the studio, it's you culture. First of all, got it, you from Mississippi, but been around the world. But man, just surrounded by, I mean, I see Michael Jordan in here, like you said, UGK, Pimp C, Muhammad Ali, Outkast, Kendrick Lamar, Tribe Called Quest, Dr. Dre in the building. I don't know if that's Julius Erving over there, but the logo, Biggie in the back. I mean, you just representing everywhere, man. You know, which is just amazing. Like you said, you definitely ain't in a box. But with that, man, so we pretty much are done with the interview, but I gotta ask at the end, like always, why should people work with you, follow and support, and how can they follow and support you?
Well, I think folks support me as I will say, and work with me is because I'm gonna be truthful. I will not cheat you. I'm not a person to take from no one. If you gave me something, it's because I earned it from you. I will never take something from you. But like anybody, you know, anybody can say they support you, but when they really do support you, you will know. So it's like, you know, a lot of folks that I run into, they say they want to support me, but then I have to step back and look at them and look at their character. You know, I'm not into cheating folks, and I'm not in here to robbing folks. So a lot of folks I keep at arm's bay, because I can see, for some reason, I can see the foolishness and the devil in their eyes. And I was like, you know, I turned down a lot of money because at the end of the day, I like to protect my energy and my peace. If I can't protect my energy and my peace, money is not for me, because I don't care about your money. I care about that peace and that positive energy.
That's real talk, man.
And that time.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can't get that back. Shout out to Tam Levi. Protect your energy, man. So then finally, I guess, bro, do you have any final shout outs? Anybody you want to shout out, or anything else you want to put out to the people?
Yeah, let me you know, if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Grindin ENT Studio on Instagram, Grindin ENT on Facebook, and that's GRINDIN ENT Studio. That's on IG, and Grindin ENT on Facebook. Also, and Grindin ENT on Twitter. And for the who I want to shout out to, I want to shout out to my cuz, Big Chevy.
Yep.
Chevy out there in Mississippi this week doing great things for musician tailors. I'd like to shout out to my beautiful daughter and my son. He just turned 23 yesterday.
Happy birthday.
He think he grown.
You ain't grown yet.
And you know, my twin brother, and you know, my pops, he's still alive. He finna get ready to turn 72. Okay, you know, I know he be looking at me sideways, but pops, I do love you. I love my brother, my sister Chevy, my kids. You know, shout out to the Smith family, the Tates family, the Sheltons. You know, shout out to HYLO Art.
HYLO Art.
You know,
appreciate it.
These some good dudes.
Thank you.
Hands down. You know, you don't run into genuine people like them. So, you know, I appreciate y'all for having me today and showing me love that y'all have shown.
Appreciate it, brother. And we love the logo, man. And then all the stuff that he said spelled out in the beginning of the video, it's over there. So if you don't got it, just rewind a little bit. His whole right there with his picture is, you know, his information, and we'll have it at the end of this. But in a minute, we're gonna pause this and then let him talk a little bit more about, you know, his business and some of the services he provide. But shout out to y'all, man, the whole Magnolia, that whole scene down there, the Delta, and the love that y'all showed our guy when he came through, the love you show us when we come down here, man. It's just it's amazing. And it's cool because you military, I'm military, and you know, with the things that's going on in the world, we get to see from the outside as over retirees, but also remember and reminisce and talk about, you know, some of the things that's going on now and how we think things are gonna be handled. But you know, and I'll go ahead and say that on camera, and you can tag it if you want, but my expectation is the military is going to handle business like senior non-commissioned officers expect business to be handled in whatever way that is, regardless of what everybody else thinks. But as far as there's a perception out there that we take care of our own or whatever. But the reality is, I feel like the military that I know is going to take care of their business when it comes to certain situations.
Definitely. They really do.
Yeah. Yeah. See what we say, and know we watching. So yeah. Shout out to them. But anyway, one more time for the twin, y'all. Shout out to that whole movement. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, follow us, HYLO Art. And then in a second here, Twin is gonna talk just a little bit about grinding.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This Twin of Grindin Entertainment Studio. Whenever you in the Atlanta area and you need to record, you can come over here. You can reach me at Grindin ENT Studio at gmail.com. The services that I provide here at Grindin Entertainment Studio is recording at an hourly rate, or you can book a block session. And also I provide mixing and mastering